You can see the ancient wall there running, and there's the tower that I passed earlier.
So I didn't know what was going on. Maybe he had to drink there. I don't know. One or two drink persons. That could have very well
Okay, I'm back at the last hotel for the evening before I head out tomorrow. Oh, interesting. Oh, very interesting. So I have a better view there. It's my free bottle of water, tea, coffee. I always have a cup of tea in the evenings. Nice bed. Television. Place to put the luggage rack. Ultra modern sleek chairs. Table. And best of all, I've got an excellent view. That last view I had was terrible. There's the bus that I rode in on, the second one. And there was a most excellent meal over there at the Hercules. I really enjoyed that. And there's church. So this is definitely a much better view. And you can rent those cycles over there.
Right, everyone. Okay, well, you were just listening to Chris there and giving all the instructions. So there we are. You know what to do. And I'm going to give you some commentary, as I said I would, as we make our way up and down the river. So it's a lovely evening. It's been a dark cloud up there, but it's not supposed to rain. No, it won't, fingers crossed. Egyptians to the British in 1798. Thank you, President, for Nelson defeating the French at the Battle of the River Nile. And it was brought to London in the 19th century and put on the riverside as an attraction. There we are, Cleopatra's Needle, our Egyptian history. We're coming up to a railway bridge now, and on either side of that railway bridge there are two footpaths, two walkways, so we might get some people waving at us as we come underneath the bridge in a minute. The train is going across to the right, it's going into Charing Cross train station, which is over to our right hand side, and we're going to pass under the two walkways as well. They're called the Golden Jubilee walkways because they were added to the sides of the railway bridge in 2002, which was the late Queen's Golden Jubilee year. Now, as we come underneath the bridges, we've got the London Eye on our left, which is looking very fine tonight, nice and straight. As I told you, they have an annual maintenance of tightening the bolts, and the eye with its 32 capsules, you want to count them if you want, 32 of them, the same number of capsules on the London Eye as they're running until tomorrow morning at 11, and at the moment it's empty for the day, it's closed for the day. Oh, look at that clock over there to the right front. There is the Elizabeth Tower, not Big Ben, it's the Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben is actually the bell at the top of the clock tower. It weighs 13.5 tons, and the bell was hoisted to the top of the tower in 1839, and it bongs on the hour, only on the hour. You only hear it, you don't see Big Ben, and you're about to hear it, because in a moment or two the quarter chimes will chime. There's the quarter chimes. And now you will hear Big Ben 9 times. Nice, wasn't it? Wasn't that good timing, getting up here for 9 o'clock? Well done, Steve. And we not at the moment, because we have a general election looming on the 4th of July, when the United Kingdom Parliament will change on the 5th of July. So we'll have to wait and see who will be the majority party in the lower house on the morning of Friday the 5th of July. And maybe the Prime Minister will be a different Prime Minister by the end of the day. Banner on the front of the building, doesn't look very nice. 1970s concrete, and in the brutalist style, that's the architectural style of the National Theatre. It's a great place for plays. There are some great plays that started life at the National, including Warhorse, One Man, Two Governors, The History Boys. So if you want plays with a bit of culture, you go to the National Theatre. If you want musicals, you go to the West End, on the other side of the river, on our left. So as you can see, we're coming back almost to the place where we started our cruise, but we're not going to stop, we're going to keep going. And the lights are just coming on now, and it says OXO on it. You see OXO on the tower, on the various sides of the tower. That was built for the company that made the OXO stock cube. In 1926 they built the building, and because you can't advertise on the banks of the River Thames, the architect of the building very cleverly designed the windows in the tower to spell out their most famous off their meals, standing at the side, wondering whether to jump, because they can't pay their bill, but it's quite an expensive restaurant. And next to it, Sea Containers House, which is actually now a hotel. It was built as offices, but it's ended up as a boutique hotel, the Mondrian Hotel. Now, there's a lovely view of St Paul's Cathedral, isn't there, as we come along here? You can see off to the left now, behind the crane there, the dome of St Paul's. That lovely view, the largest church dome in the country, the second largest in the world after St Peter's in Rome, St Paul's Cathedral's dome. Just in front of us we've got a bridge, and if you look at it's a road bridge, it's called Blackfriars Bridge, and if you look at the piers on either side of the spans, they look like church pulpits. You could imagine someone there preaching a sermon, couldn't you, on one of those? Well, that was deliberate. They're supposed to look like church pulpits, thanks to the wishes of Queen Victoria, because this is Blackfriars Bridge. There was a Blackfriars monastery over on the left-hand side of the river until the 16th century. And this road bridge opened by Queen Victoria in 1869. But look left and right as we come underneath, and you can see these red columns. These held up the very first railway bridge over the Thames, which is the Dover Railway. And that was dismantled in the early 1980s, but the piers that held up the bridge were so firmly embedded that they couldn't remove them. So what they did is they just painted them red, and they hoped we wouldn't notice. So as we come under the railway bridge here, with St Paul's Cathedral's dome on our left-hand side on the skyline, and beyond it, on the left side, you can see a large number of very tall modern buildings. And can you imagine that 25 years ago, none of those buildings would have been there on the London skyline. They're all built in the last 3 decades. And you can see they're all shapes and built in the traditional fashion of the 16th century in the 1990s. So it's a replica of the original Globe Theatre. And it's, as Shakespeare's plays are performed there between May and September. They don't perform them in the winter time because it's, well, it could rain, it could be cold, so therefore and it's open air, so they don't have any productions in the winter months. So this bridge in front of you is Southwark Road Bridge. I like this bridge, I like the lamps on it.
1 2 1 2, testing 1 2.
We'll give it another go. Yeah, it's cutting out a little bit the mic. Sorry guys, you thought you got deaf there for a minute, didn't you? But it wasn't. I stopped. My microphone went off. So, as I was saying, which is the bit that opens up, they're called bascules. They weigh 1,000 tons each, and they can come up to let tall ships through the bridge, as they still do. And they've been doing it since 1894, when the bridge was first opened by the Prince of Wales in July 1894 to great fanfare. It actually failed that day, but since that day it's opened on demand, and it always does. The number of times it would open and close when it was originally built in the late 19th century, early 20th century, the record was in 1910 when it had 62 lifts in one day. 62 lifts in a day. Nowadays, in modern times, now the port has gone downstream. The Port of London is way down at the estuary now. It's the docks are down there as well. It opens about, it depends on the time of year, but maybe 10 or 20 times a week it will open. With the Tower of London, so don't forget to look to your left and see something that is much older than Tower Bridge, 900 years old plus in fact, and that is a wonderful view on the left-hand side of London's great fortress, the Tower of London. Look at the central tower there. Right in the middle you've got that big tower with the 4 turrets, one on each corner with a weather vane. That's the White Tower. It doesn't look white, I know, but it used to be limewashed. And look at the encircling walls and turrets all the way around it. Look, there are so many towers and turrets, it really is impregnable. That's where the crown jewels are kept in there. So we'll have a look at it again. But back to Tower Bridge, you can see as we come underneath this central span where the join is, 2 little orange lights in the middle. And it takes 90 seconds for that bridge to lift 80 degrees from where you see it, almost to the vertical. And an equally impressive minute and a half to go back down again. So, look at all those rivets as we go underneath. It's good Victorian engineering.